If you're just tuning in, that little bit was a closer development of the final product of a song that I have been working on with you in correspondence, in collaboration on the journey here on Breaking Notes. My name is Curtis LaBelle, and this is episode 8, where we have finally made it to the studio with the producer. We have been working on a song for the last 7 episodes, and we've come this far, and we're getting so close to the end, and the end is exciting because it's got sparkles, and it's got excitement, and it's finally got that full, warm feeling of what music does by bringing the community together. But before we move on to talk about studio time and producers, let's have a quick recap of everything that we have done. All right, before I go any further, I'm going to grab my coffee. It's been a lot of work. We've been working hard. We've been spending a lot of hours. Time consumption. Music is a big part of that. We've worked on format, we've worked on style, we've written our lyrics, we have verses, we have choruses, we have our melodies, we've picked our key, we have our chord progressions that go with our verses and our choruses and bridge. We've had rehearsals, we've developed it, we've put it all together, we've made changes, we've added things, we've taken away stuff. We may have not done anything to it, and it's been perfect all along the way, which is absolutely possible. If that happened to you, cheers and celebrate, because as an artist, that doesn't always happen. But it's been a lot of work, and we have put it all together, and we've created a demo in our last episode. I encourage you to go and watch all these past episodes to catch up, and by now you've also done some research on Google and have made friends in the community that you weren't friends with before. You've befriended somebody at your local music store maybe, and by now you've made new musician friends, and you've created a new community that you are developing, and so be proud of that as well, and know that you have the power to create anything that you put your mind to. So, how's that? All right, let's talk about studio time, producers, and all of the importance of the hard work that we're about to go into. Studio time is probably my favorite time when it comes to the development process for songwriting. It is a moment where you get to have an engineer, a producer, a team, your musicians, where we all get together and we have allotted this moment to put all the energy and ideas and further development and, well, maybe even some heated conversations between musicians and artists. The creative level and amount of energy that happens in a studio is crazy, and the sparks fly. So for me, it's one of the most exciting things. Let's talk about picking the right producer for you. I encourage you to do some research on the producer that you're going to work with. I don't expect you to find a producer that is a Juno-winning or a Grammy-winning producer or anything of the sorts. Heck, you may even be wanting to produce it yourself, where you may have done some research again on Google, where you have learnt different things on producing music. Go ahead and do that. I encourage you to take some classes as well. It's good information to know. But research the producer you're going to work with. Listen to some of the music that they have done already. Who have they worked with? What other artists? Are they the right producer for you? If you are writing a country song, is the producer a country producer, or do they produce rap music? You probably wouldn't want to use a rap producer if you're going to be doing a country song. So those are a few things you can take into consideration. One of the things I want you to consider about as well is budget. Budget is a big factor when it comes to producing a song or an album or the time management with it as well. So really ensure that you have a good demo so that you can find producers financial producers to help you if you'd like to get some help financially to help produce the song numerically, so you can pay your musicians and pay your producers and your engineers. Due diligence, it is work. It is important that we give credit where credit's due, and it's a job as well. So I encourage you to follow suit with that. Once you have your producer and you have your musicians and you've created your time and you've picked your producing time, however long that's going to be, you by now then have become friends with your producer. And you have sent him your demo that you were working on that we did in the last episode. And you have had some collaboration. There's been some ideas thrown back and forth. He's had some ideas, you've had some ideas, and now you're putting it together. Again, we're putting it together. As you grow as an artist and you get into the studio and you work with the producer and your musicians come in and you now start laying down the bed tracks and you're doing some overdubbing and all of those things. If those are some terms that I've used you're not sure of, do some research. Again, use the lingo. Start to get to know the different dialect and the words you can use in a studio to make yourself feel like you know what you're doing. I know I didn't know a lot, and I have learned a lot, and I'm really happy that I've taken the time. Again, educate yourself, take some courses, like we were saying earlier, learn some programs, your DAWs, your producers, your styles of music, all those things. And who's in your community as an artist as well, and who's in your community as a producer. There might be the best producer sitting right behind you in another house, right behind your backyard. Who knows? Time management in the studio is extremely important. Time management. I know we're talking a lot about this episode, but there's a lot of important information and we have to get a lot in a short amount of time. But time is important. This is why a demo is extremely important, so you're not wasting time, because it is expensive, especially if you're using a more well-known producer who's got some bigger credentials under their name. If you have a friend that is willing to donate their time and it's a work project and it's a development fund project and you don't have to have a budget, awesome. Go for it. I still recommend that you give back to your community and to the people that you're working with by providing some pizza or a gift card, or find a little bit of remuneration in thanks for their efforts and their works. It goes a long way. Trust me. But time management. Make sure your demo and everything is in place and you've gotten everything kind of where you really want it to be, so you are not wasting time in the studio. The producer wants to work fast. You want to work fast. You want to create the product as diligently and fast and effectively as you possibly can. Use it wisely. And that really boils down to the last thing, which is discipline. Discipline. It's all great to have fun and games in the studio, but it's a job and it's work and you are creating something. And ultimately your moral is for you to want to create the best product you possibly can. You'll feel better at the end. You won't be sitting back going, oh, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have done that. Trust me, I've been there. Take your time. You don't have to rush through this. I know we have 10 episodes and we're going back to back. You can watch this episode and then watch it again and again and again and learn something new. Hopefully you do. At any rate, let's have a recap of everything we've just talked about. Studio time. Picking your producer, doing the research, finding the musicians, having a good enough demo in order to send into the producer so you can have a good foundation to work with so you're not wasting time, and making sure that the discipline of having good light moments in the studio time as well as solid, productive, creative moments in the studio. You want to capture what it is that you've been working on. It's exciting. What's next is a really cool part. We only have a couple episodes left. We now have a song. It's produced, it's mixed and mastered. Now we have to market it. This is a very daunting part, but it can be a lot of fun. My name is Curtis LaBelle. This is Breaking Notes, and we'll see you in the next episode. Welcome back. I know you're excited. I'm excited. My name is Curtis LaBelle. This is Breaking Notes. And if you've watched the previous episode, this is Shiv Shanks. He's here again. Let's just dive right in, Shiv. This episode, we're talking about studio time, producing, and the cost of studio time and how important it is to do your prep work before you go in, because you don't want to waste any time in the studio. You want to utilize the time because it certainly isn't cheap. And there are options out there. You can record yourself, or you can work with a producer. Let's ask you that question, Shiv. So you've carved down you've carved down to the fine toothpick that's going to be performing the next song single that nice toothpick. Now you need to put it on an album. You want to record it. You want to capture that song. You want to put that toothpick on a CD. How do you do that? What's your process? Do you record yourself? Do you go to a producer? Take me through that.
I recorded a cassette tape back in the probably early 2000s for a Christmas present for my family, so I didn't have to buy them anything. I used that money to rent the recording machine.
For the viewers who don't know what a cassette tape is, who might be watching this 20 years down the road, what is a cassette tape?
It's like...
it's a little plastic, rectangular, thin disc, almost looks like a little baguette. That's got a magnetic reel in it that will record kind of like a film back in the day. So it's it's good quality. I think it's good quality. Analog.
It had 4 tracks, so I could play the guitar, I could sing, and if I could do those at the same time, then I still had a couple tracks left. I could play the recorder over some of it, So I made this little album, and I was quite fond of it. I don't think the family listened to it as much as I'd hoped. But then the next one I recorded...
Sometimes community doesn't support, but you just keep on going.
Exactly, right? That's the lesson to be learned. It's like, if nobody else was alive on Earth, I'd still be doing exactly what I'm doing, just to a smaller crowd.
Sure, absolutely. So let's talk about your prep. So have you been to you've been to a recording studio?
Yes, I've recorded with 3 different producers of note that I think, and
every one of them has been different. I'm sure.
Once twice. I've repeated with Matt Balson recorded me twice. Mm-hmm. But the latest one I recorded with Laurie Matheson in Calgary.
Sure.
The name of his studio escapes me at the moment. But anyways, it was a $400 a day deal.
Okay.
So, and I won some sort of a prize at the Calgary Folk Fest songwriting competition. I got a free day of recording with Laurie Matheson.
So just for the record, there are many opportunities for artists to find competitions. I myself have won a place in a composition competition where I've won recording a studio time. So if it seems like it's not feasible, it is. There's just other avenues. So I encourage artists to do that, especially if you're an independent artist. Don't give up. Keep pushing forward. So you got these packages. You're moving into the studio. Tell me the difference between working with 2 different producers. What was that like?
They're all very different. He was more professional. His studio was nice and laid back, and I felt homey there. But I didn't feel as free to really go crazy like I did with my buddy Matt, where it's like, okay, this vocal isn't working. I'm going to get in the shower. We're going to, get the ambience in the bathroom. If that doesn't work, I'm going to crawl down in this cabinet, and we're going to, whatever. I would do anything to get the vocal I thought I could hear in my mind, and then I'd hear it play back. It's like, it's not right. What's wrong with it, And then they put some phony reverb on. I'm like, geez, we can get some real reverb out of your house. I was singing in your bathroom the other day. So I would do all sorts of crazy stuff, but it's like, he wasn't dinging me quite as hard. So I thought, on these days, it's like, once that free day went through, it's like we recorded like 15 songs in a day, because as a one-man band, all we need to do is put the mics on it. Once we get the sound, I can just rip.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. Utilizing your time, specifically in a studio time, there's a difference between an engineer and a producer, and if you want to make sure you dial in all the tones that you have, and you really kind of want to be prepared to get as much as you can done. It's 15 songs.
Yeah, I didn't use them all, but I had, like I said, it's all whittling, right? I had 15 songs. I listened to them. Which ones aren't impressing me? Because if they're not impressing me, they're not going to impress nobody, because they're my songs. It's like they're my children. If I think they're ugly, everyone's going to think they're ugly. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I disagree. Based off of my own experience, I don't believe a word I say. However, how important is it to capture the essence of your art on capturing it into a digital form, because ultimately at the end of the day, that is now being released to the world, and they will now forever, unfortunately, judge, make opinions, and decide whether or not they like it or not. I mean, that's been one of the topics of conversation we've had, is putting it out, and will the community, what's the community's response? Are you attached to the community's response of what you put out as an artist? Or are you just like, I've written for me, I've created the song I want to sing, this is my toothpick, and y'all can pick your teeth with it if you want or not?
50-50. I am that, but I also care. You know, I don't not care. If everybody hates it, it's like, I got to look at why. You know what I mean?
And that's, I think, the growth of the artist, to make sure that they are developing their skills and putting out the next best thing that they can. That's ultimately what we want to do. We want to get better, and we want to put the next best thing out. Do you think you put the next best thing out every time you write?
Yes. My last two albums, it's kind of like, sometimes I think one's better, then sometimes I think the other's better. And it's like, okay, because once a year I'll go through them and listen to all. I have a day where I listen through them all and just kind of try to gauge that. What does that sound like, and where did I make the wrong decisions, and why did I make those decisions? The first song.
Or where did you go right?
Yes, but where did I? Because it's like, if it went right, then I'm happy. But then there's that spot where it's like, why did I do that, or why did I let somebody else steer the ship that direction? You know?
Do you not think artists don't spend enough time understanding what they did right, as opposed to just focusing on what they did wrong? Because if you have a song that goes out there, I mean, do you ever think about, well, why is this better? Why is this commercially better than the other song that I've written?
Yeah, I try to pick everything apart from all those angles, but I think at the end of the day, it's like, you just got to kind of grow from it and look at it for what it is. And you can't, if you're so busy going, yeah, I did really good there, you're not going to see how it can get better, because it's like, I can't just sit around. If I'm listening to it and I like it, then I like it until I don't. And it's like, why don't I? It's like 90% of everything I've recorded, I'm happy with. But then there's the first song on my first solo album, the vocals are about, I don't know, 4 times louder than on all the rest of the songs. It's a quiet song, and I didn't think the enunciation was coming through. So I made them jack, and they were telling me, like, this is crazy. It's not like anywhere near any of the other songs. And I just like overrode them all, which I will do. Like, no matter what professionals I'm working with, I'd be like, this is the way it's got to be, right? And 10 years later, I go, oh, I should have listened to those guys. Oh.
Speaking of, I think it's safe to say that in order to wrap this up, find the producer that you're going to want to work with. And if you want to work with yourself and you have your own home studio, be creative, make mistakes, try different things, educate yourself on YouTube videos, or find another friend, collaborate with them, find your community, work with who you want to work with, and you'll eventually be putting out the right product for yourself as an artist. We're going to be back. Don't go anywhere. We've got another follow-up episode with Mr. Shiv Shanks. My name is Curtis LaBelle, and this is another episode of Breaking Notes.